Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and last night I couldn't sleep, so I was scrolling through my phone, and I was just going back in time, and oh my gosh, man, I saw so many videos that I had done that had not been deleted. I saved them for one reason or another, and I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So anyhow, I created a new file in my photos section, and then I saved them all into the new folder. Anyhow, I got the wild ideas. Like, you know what I ought to do is I ought to stitch all these together and then repost them kind of as a nostalgic, kind of a throwback, kind of a walk down memory lane. A lot of them are cringy, but a lot of them are like very informative. And gosh, for me, it's so strange. You know, it's in a good way to go back and revisit your old material, because you see how far you've come and things that you used to do that you don't do anymore, or things that you used to do that you forgot that you probably should remember to do again, you know, just all that. Needless to say, I compiled 2 videos. This is part 1. And then the other one I will also upload. That'll be part 2. And so they're just going to be basically, like I said, a walk down memory lane, nostalgic if you want, seeing my old videos. And they're all short videos. My gosh, they're all, as compared to the videos I'm doing these days. But like I said, good information. And, you know, the playing is kind of still the same. Anyhow, guys, I do hope you watch the videos. I do hope you enjoy. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And that's it. Let's get on with it. All right, guys, how about some reggaeton? First the bass line, then the drum line, then some chords, and then some leads. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Greetings everybody, Del Puckett here. And in this video I want to talk about harmonic minor. The harmonic minor scale. So, take a look at this diagram and then I want to point out a few things. Okay? So, the harmonic minor is going to be, the root is going to be on the high string or the low string. Okay? So this is going to be your root here, open. And it's going to look like a normal minor scale except for this note here, which is a major 7. So it's going to go open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, jumping up to the 11th fret to the 12th fret. And then what I did is I just drew in all the dots over the neck, entire neck of a 3-string cigar box guitar. Okay, so I'm going to point out a few things now, and then I'm also going to point out a few more things, but I didn't want to draw on this until I showed you this first. Okay, so take a good look at that. Pause the video if you like, and then I'm going to point out a few things here. So, first off, I'm tuned E, B, E. So I will play the scale ascending from the bottom up to the top, and then down. So it's a very exotic sound. So you have all of the open strings, then you have a chord right here at the 5th fret, another chord at the 7th fret, another chord at the 8th fret, so if you want to do 1-finger bars, it's at the 12th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, and open. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is I'm going to draw on this paper diagram here the symmetrical scale. All right, here is the very first symmetrical scale that we see embedded in the harmonic minor scale. And this is called a diminished scale. Now if you notice, here's the root, the 12th fret. Same as the open string here. The 12th fret is the root. So this scale starts on the note right below the root here, this 11th fret. This is where the scale starts from, I guess, if you want to call it a starting point. But notice how it repeats. Every 4 frets, it repeats. Okay? So that's why they call it a symmetrical scale, because the pattern repeats through and through the scale. Now I'm going to play some examples here. Again, so here's my octave, and here's where the notes or the scale is going to start. Just a half step down, right? So every 4 frets is a scale note. And it resolves nicely back into the root. So you can also do the chords with that as well. So here's what the chords would look like. Again, just like the diagram, I'm just following the diagram. So these are diminished chords and diminished scales. so that is the diminished scale. And now I will draw the augmented scale. All right, so this is starting to look like a mess, I agree. So here's the second symmetrical scale, the augmented scale in green. So you can see here, starting off at the same starting spot here on the 11th fret, you have the major third intervals all connected in the green line here, and that's the augmented scale. So the diminished scale, represented by these red lines here, repeats every 4 frets, or every step and a half. It's a minor third. And then the augmented scale is in green, and it repeats every other whole step. All right, so here's some of the chords, the chord shapes. This is one of the chord shapes, augmented chord here, and this is another one, like the D form, the D chord. And this is the way it sounds here. Again, they all resolve nicely back into the root. So, harmonic minor can be subdivided into 2 symmetrical scales, the diminished scale shown in red and the augmented scale shown in green. Now, if you notice this, by overlapping these 2 symmetrical scales here, we can account for every note in the harmonic minor scale except for the root. See how the root is the only note that is not contained in either a red or a green line? Isn't that crazy? Kind of cool. All right, there you have it, my friends. All right, when I grow up, I want to be a singer. This is straight out of the Bible, Psalm 40. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined and he heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the pit, out of the mire and clay, and I will sing a new song. Yeah, I will sing a new song. How long to sing this song? How long to sing this song? How long? How long? How long to sing this song? You set my feet upon the rock, I made my footsteps firm. Many will see and fear, and I will sing a new song. Yeah, I will sing a new song. How long to sing this song? How long to sing this song? How long? How long to sing this song? Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here from the workbench, and in this video I want to talk about installing the top markers on your fretboard. There's many ways to do this. If you have a light fretboard, you can get away with just burning with a soldering iron. This is true for both the front and for the top. But in this video here, I want to talk about installing these linoleum nails here. These are rounded tops, and they're golden, so they kind of match. You can get these in any colors. This is about a 1/2 inch long of a shaft. Typically I do the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, 15th, 17, 19, and more if I have more frets. And I usually match, right, the front to the top. That's just me. You don't have to do that, but and then what I'll do is I will get a drill bit, and the diameter of the bit is going to match the diameter of my nail, right? And then I will get a sharp, pokey owl. You can use just a nail. You don't even have to do this, but this is just what I do. And then what I will do is center it exactly where I want it, right? And then give it a little something, something. And this is just to make a dent where you want the drill to go. And then, oh yeah. And then what I do is I take a magic marker and I mark on the drill how far I need to go deep, right? I don't want to go deeper, and I don't want to go not deep enough, but I want to go just deep enough so that this shaft goes perfectly in. And then I'm going to tap it in with a hammer. And you want to be careful here, because if you slip with the hammer and dent the wood, you'll regret that. And you can see it makes a nice position marker. I use many things. I use these little screws, these tiny little guys. These are the same screws that go in the back of the neck here, or the back of the fretboard, or the tuners rather. These are actually pretty cool too. So sky is the limit. You can be creative all you want with this, really, seriously. And so have fun doing that. Oh yeah, the last thing you want to do is just make sure they're deep enough so that they don't like catch on anything, or you don't like feel them, or they're not annoying or nothing like that. So sometimes I have to like really pound them in just to kind of get them indented. So that's it. Hope you have fun doing that. I forgot to add, you want to be careful when you're doing your hammer, because you can actually hit your thumb and ow! All right, greetings everybody, Del Puckett here, and I want to teach you this speed lick. This is an 8-note sequence lick that involves pick, finger, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. All right, I'm tuned G, D, G. And for this example, I'm going to be using the middle string. I'm going to start off with an open pick, then do a double hammer at the 3rd fret and 5th fret using my index and ring finger, and then using my middle finger on my right hand, I'm going to pop this high G string, and then I'm going to pick the 5th fret and do a double pull off, and then pop this high G string again. So that's 8 notes in a sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 and 8, I'm catching the pop on this one here. For this example here, I'm just using the 3rd and 5th fret, but you can move it up. And you don't have to use this middle finger. You can also just double pick it, and this is the way it looks. All right, so I hope you have fun with that. Again, pick, double hammer, pop, double pull, pop. All right, now I'm going to sing you a gospel song, At the Cross. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I'm happy all the day. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden to my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I'm happy all the day. All right, greetings YouTube. Del Puckett here with the Old Crow. All right, so this one here is a My Father's Cigar Box with a gold snake oil here, a piezo under the saddle here, gold F-hold covers, hinge bridge on the back, strap button. I have blocks on the inside, and that's what these screws are screw into. Three-way switch. Volume. I do have a rosewood fretboard with walnut inlays on a nice Doug fir neck that has been sanded and steel wooled to perfection. Sounds coming to you from So I do have, so that is the piezo. This is the humbucker. I like the middle position when you get both the humbucker and the piezo. It's just fat.
So I will show you the insides.
And here is a look at the inside. So I do have a snake oil humbucker in the neck position, and it is wired to this switch. And then I also have the under the saddle piezo also mounted to the switch. The output of the switch goes to the potentiometer. Then the output of the potentiometer goes to the jack. And I do have an extra ground wire here that's going to go to the bridge to properly ground everything. All right, here's a quick little sound sample of the Raven. All right, greetings everybody. I got myself an old-fashioned pocket knife, and I just spent 20 minutes polishing it up and sanding it off and cleaning it, sharpening it, and I hit it with some WD-40 so it's sharp again. And what I did is I took apart one of these white picket fences. Now I'm going to carve a neck with just a pocket knife. All right, wish me luck. All right, I'm done. I'm going to sand it, obviously, and make it all smooth with sandpaper, but it can be done. Definitely can be done. It's a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, maybe because my knife wasn't as sharp as it could be. Also, I had to cut this way on this side and then cut this way on this side because if the way the grain was, I had to cut this way on this side and then this way on this side because it was splintering if I kept cutting this way on this side, so I didn't want it to splinter. Anyhow, you can see that there's a big old mess now I got to clean up. Chips. All right, so now I'm going to carve out the headstock. This should be challenging as well. All right, I'm all done carving. Now I think I'm just going to do the sandpaper, and then make it all smooth. Anyhow, carving with a knife is very, very therapeutic. It's makes your thumb sore though. But I kind of like it. All right, so that it just proves right there you don't need power tools. You know, maybe just a good old-fashioned rusty pocket knife. Yep, this is awesome. All right. You would never know that this was done with a pocket knife. Smooth, and it's ready to have the fretboard glued onto it. Takes a little longer, but what the heck? Right, a couple years back, I was in Colorado Springs, and I went to an indoor antique mall, and I found this cigar box. It's an El Verso, and it's basically it's a cardboard box, so I did have to reinforce it, but I just like the look of it. Right, it was all blue. Anyhow, turned it into a oh, and I like the little sun logo there in the middle. Isn't that cool? Anyhow, so I built a neck for it. I do have blue buttons here for the 12th fret indicators. All the other ones are nails, and it is a yardstick fretboard. Anyhow, I thought the guitar kind of comes out kind of cool. I do have a piezo mounted right underneath the saddle, and got a little bit of slap back, so I can get cool little sound there. Oh yeah, one other thing to remind you, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this thing at all. Here, let me take this off. Ouch, that's too hard. I can't take it off, never mind. But I was going to try to show you that volume knob. I'll take a picture and I'll put it at the end of this thing here, but this actual knob, it goes up to 11. Alright, greetings YouTube. Del Puckett here with build number 197. You can hear my neighbor over there mowing his rocks. Anyhow, this one here, if you saw the video of me carving a neck with a pocket knife, that is it, and I left the white on there to be reminiscent of the fact that this was a white picket fence before it got transitioned into a 3-string cigar box guitar. I left the fretboard intact, and I'll put the position markers on the top. This is a 23-inch scale neck, and check out the oh yeah, I do have antique copper grommets, and then copper F-hole covers for the appointments. Hinge bridge, a rosewood saddle, and then of course a black strap button there. It has been peeled and sanded, dark stained, and steel wooled, and plays like butter. Listen to this sound. right, so I'm going to take this thing inside and plug it in, but first I want to show you the insides. All right, a quick look at the inside. Here's the bridge. And here's the pickup. And I do have the wires hot glued to the top. And then everything's wire tied. The back of the potentiometer is the ground. And then the output of the potentiometer goes to the input jack. And then I do have an extra wire that's going to go to one of the screws that holds the bridge on. All right, this thing came out of the womb singing. Oh my gosh. So I am tuned E, B, E, and these are the A, D, the A, D, and G strings from an acoustic. They're all wound strings. Sounds are being brought to you by the tried and true trusty Roland Micro Cube, and I'll even play way up on the neck here. All right, let me dial up some reverb and some delay. Some reverb. All I can say is wow, wow. All right. Number 197. All right, greetings everybody. Del Puckett here. And I wanted to use this video to kill two birds with one stone. So first off, I wanted to show you, this used to be a Java box. I just sanded it and painted it black. And same thing with the neck. I painted it black and then I hit it with sandpaper to take off those edges. And man, this thing really looks nice. And of course that humbucker with the piezo. Sounds awesome. show you in this video is how to tune using harmonics. So right off the bat, I'm tuned E, B, E, E, B, E. So that makes a power chord, right? So the harmonics are going to be on the 7th fret, top string, and then the 12th fret in the middle string. So here's the 7th fret, top string. Here's the 12th fret. And what you're looking for is that little wiggle. So what you want to do is you'll hear it getting slower and slower and slower, and then eventually it'll like stop. That's what you want. You want that wiggle to stop. So I'm going to detune it again so you'll hear the wiggle, and then I'll get back into tune so you'll hear the wiggle get slower and slower and slower, and then eventually stop. So it's like. Go a little bit too far, then it'll start wiggling again right on the top side. Now it's wiggling on the top side. And I don't like to go down to tune, I like to go down and then come back up to it. So right now I'm above, so I'm going to take the top string and I'm going to go down below the note and then come back up to it. Once you get it in tune with the harmonics, then you're going to double check, make sure your chords sound good. Okay, and then finally, you'll know when this saddle is in the right place, and when your intonation is correct, when your harmonics line up directly over the frets. So here's the 12th fret. And here's the notes. So I'll hit a note, I'll hit the harmonics, and then I'll hit only one of the strings, hit a note, and make sure that that note blends in perfectly with the harmonics. Now I had already adjusted this, and I got this like perfect, man. I just spent like the last 30 minutes getting it all the harmonics to line up. I even go all the way up here to the 12th fret, and the same thing. I'll hit the harmonic, and I'll make sure that this note up here so if it's flat, you're going to shorten this and then retune it all up again and then double check. If it's sharp, you're going to lengthen this and then of course retune everything up and then double check. And you just barely have to move this thing. I mean, once you get it close, I mean, you barely move it, just about the thickness of a guitar pick sometimes, and that's all you need to get it perfect. So experiment with that. Use your tuner to get you close to where you need to be, whatever key you're in, right? And then use your ear and listen for those harmonics, right? So you have the 7th fret to the 12th fret. That's these two strings. Then when you're going to do the high two strings, you're going to go to the 5th fret on the middle string, to the 7th fret on the high string. So 5th fret, 7th fret. And the same thing, you're gonna still listen for those wiggles, right? last but not least, crickets. All right, in this video I want to show you how to install and remove the neck that has the fretboard that goes over the top when you have a humbucker. Okay, so this is just one way. I'm sure there's many ways to do it, but in this case here I have it notched so that you can slide this guy back and open the top. Now how I have done that is I put this groove in here that is long enough, right, to allow the neck to be slid back while the bottom of the humbucker here doesn't interfere with it. Okay, so that's that. And then also the piezo, of course, I mounted flat. It's embedded in hot glue and it's mounted in flat so that it doesn't snag, but it slides smoothly when you slide it out this way here. A couple of things to note here is I have these little steering blocks on the inside. So when you slide it in, right, they will be, no matter how you come at it, right, it's going to steer into the right exact spot. Even on the bottom there, I got this little notch, right, so it's going to come up so that this screw hole here lines up exactly with where it needs to be. I have screw holes on both sides here and here as well. So that's how you take this guy on and off. I'll show you again. All right, so in order to remove this neck, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take off this hinge bridge here. Okay, so I've got the screws loosened and we're just taking this thing off because of course the screws that hold the bridge go into the neck. And so those screws will not allow this thing to move. So that now that this hinge bridge is moved, now we're going to take off these two screws here in the back that hold the neck in place. Okay, so now that these screws are out of the way, and these screws are done, now this neck will just slide to the spot here that allows me to clear, and then voila, it opens up. Magic! All right, time to solder it up and put the strings on. Yay! All right, the humbucker to the switch. Additionally, the piezo to the switch. The output of the switch to the potentiometer. The output of the potentiometer to the input jack with an extra ground wire that goes to the screw that holds the hinge on. All right, so we were all strung up and tuned up. I mean, doesn't this thing remind you of Johnny Cash, the Man in Black? All right, so I'm tuned E, B, E. So here's the piezo. Here's the humbucker. Here's both piezo and humbucker. So, speaking of Johnny Cash, well, I hear that train coming, it's rolling down the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when.
that train is coming, it's rolling down the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when, 'cause I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps on rolling on down to San Antonio.
Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and I want to show you an example of one way that you can use your Fibonacci sequence golden mean calipers and embed the golden ratio into your cigar box guitar design. Now, this is just one example. What I did is using the calipers, I created these quadrants, marked them off lightly with a pencil. Right? So I created this quadrant here and this quadrant here on this side. And then I also did quadrant in this angle right here, right? And also down here. So I created these golden mean quadrants in here. And then with the template, notice the F hole's got a little cross member in the middle of it. What I did is I put that cross member exactly in alignment with the golden mean. And then I centered the F hole inside the quadrant. Okay? So that the center of the F hole, the crossbar, is direct alignment with the golden mean, and then the F hole is also centered directly in its quadrant. One thing I did note that I thought was kind of cool is that it's perfectly centered and in perfect alignment with the neck itself, right? So that is just one example, and I'm sure there's many more yet to be discovered, but centering your sound holes and your F holes according to the golden mean is an awesome application that just lends for balance and golden mean symmetry. All right, so as far as circular sound holes are concerned, notice how this sound hole begins right at the golden ratio, right here. So what I did is I marked up my quadrants again, drew a line exactly where it needs to be, and then did the same for this angle here. Marked it here, and then also marked it here. So again, I created these quadrants, and then I measured the center of this bad boy, right? And I'm going to put the edge of my sound hole exactly according to the Fibonacci sequence. Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and in this video I want to discuss what I call the break angle. Some people might call it the back angle. And what that is the angle of the action in relationship to the angle of the fret plane and the plane of the cigar box guitar itself. So you'll see here that I have a wider gap right here, and then it becomes increasingly less as it goes towards the fretboard. Okay, it's a very subtle angle, but you can definitely see it, right? That's what I call the back angle. So you have more room here for your fingers, higher action for your attack, and low action here at the fretboard. So here's one example. Here is another example. Again, wider gap here, increasingly less till it hits the fretboard, and then it's really less. I have one more example. So this is a design that I on purposely embed into my cigar box guitars. This is one of my original ones here, number 2, back in the day, and there is no back angle on these old guitars of mine, right? So this is everything was straight. So I borrowed this idea from the Gibson Les Paul. Next time you take a look at a Gibson Les Paul, take it up and look at it, you'll see, oh my gosh, there's a huge back angle. Well, anyhow, so this is how I achieve that. All right, so depending on how you build your necks, this is just a generic neck blank. And all I do is I just glue 2 pieces together to create this heel here, right? And then make sure that it's the right length in relationship to the box. Okay, so that I have my neck blank. And then what I do typically is I glue my fretboard onto my neck blank, right? And again, all of these are predetermined according to the measurements of the box. And then I'm going to determine where to cut out, because what I like is I like the fretboard itself to ride over the top of the box as far as height goes. Okay, so what I do is I make this part right here level with the top of the box, and then on this side here I go down about anywhere from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch on this side, and then I just strike a line and then cut it. Okay, and so you can see that there's that line, and this gap here goes from about 1.5 inches down to about 1.25 inches down here. So this is what it would look like after you cut it. This is about 1 inch and 1/4 or so. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. And it goes down, this one here goes down to about 1 inch. So it's thinner here. Of course, the bottom is still level. This part here is thinner than this part here, thicker. And again, it's strategically cut so that the fretboard is about the thickness of the fretboard over the top of the plane of the cigar box top. So what that does is it creates, this is lower and downer and backer, so to speak, so that you have more action or more room for your fingers. So I hope that was understandable, but that is how I create the back angle for my cigar box guitars. And in the end, in the long run, I believe that it makes for a more comfortable instrument. Gives you more room over here so that your pick isn't always hitting the top, and that you got room for your fingers so that you can attack. It's a very subtle thing, but at the end of the day, the end product is the result of all these tiny little details added up. And this is just one of those very, 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 very important tiny little details, the back angle. All right, guys, we are messing around. 1, 2, buckle my That's it. Good night, everybody. Greetings, YouTube and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here with a lesson video. I want to talk about open B tuning. Open B tuning. Okay, so from standard EBE, you're going to take your low E and raise it up a whole step to F sharp. Then we're going to leave the B alone. And the high E string, we're going to turn it down to D sharp. So it goes F sharp, B, D sharp. And that makes an open B major chord. The fifth is in the bass, the root is in the middle, and the third is on the top. Okay, because the root is in the middle, if we're going to do a back and forth bass line, you're going to start off on the middle string. This is the way it would sound. Here's another root chord here. This one here goes index finger on the third, middle finger on the fourth, and ring finger on the fifth. So this is another B chord. This one here, the root is actually this note now, right? And then this is the third and this is the five. So it's what they call an inversion. So this would be your one chord. Here's the four chord. Now, if you wanted to move this guy around, also you can move this one chord up here to the 10th fret. That would be the 4 chord, and move it up here to the 12th fret, and this would be the 5 chord. So you can mix and match those chord forms. You can also think about this in modes. So the major scale would be, of course, on the middle string, whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Once you get familiar with that, you can spread it all over the place. The high string would be the Phrygian mode, which is half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. And this is the way it sounds. And of course, because the fifth is in the bass, that would be the Mixolydian, which is whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. This way it would sound. And of course, I'm using all the other strings as open. Here's the pentatonic scale here. So I'm going to go open, 2, open, 2, open, 3. Open position. The next one would be 2, 5, 2, 4, 3, 5. Again, here's your root. The next mode would be 5, 7, 4, 7, 5, 8.
like to pull off to the open. The next one would be 7, 9, 7, 9, 8, 10. And then last but not least would be 9, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12. Yeah, so there's many cool different variety ways of thinking about this open B tuning. Again, this is F sharp, B, and D sharp. Alright, so I hope you have fun with that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Greetings from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm on the back porch of my daughter's house. And about 3 years ago, I built her this 3-string cigar box guitar and gave it to her as a Christmas gift. This one here is number 7. So for me, this is like a walk down memory lane. My critical eye looks for all the design differences that I've put into this thing here from what I do now. So I used to put nuts on these things. And look at that carved headstock. What was I thinking? Nice scarf joint neck there. And I made real narrow necks back then. Now I go with the traditional 1.5 inches, so this is like about 1.25 inches thick here. The inlays there are dowels, and then I spray painted them blue to match the blue here of the box itself. There is no back angle on these early guitars, just straight through. And I use pop rivets here. Again, spray painted in blue to match. But what I was most happy to find out is that it's properly intonated. Look at that, perfect. And a nice grommets for the sound holes. Volume knob. I guarantee you I have a piezo that's just glued right up in there. But the corners have got the gold. I only have one screw in here. There's no screws on the side here, so I could go back and I could make it nice, or I could just leave it alone, right? And just say, hey, this is how I used to build them 3 years ago, way back in the day. Oh yeah, these guys here. I think what I did is I drilled holes, and then I filled these things with candy sticks, right? And then cut them off and sanded them smooth to get them to be white. So I was very creative and very inventive way back in the day. Of course, my frets, they're angled, but they're not filed or polished. And this is an oak neck with a poplar fretboard. So for me, this is a very, very, very interesting thing to revisit my old builds, to see how far I've come, number one, and then to just to kind of relish and to celebrate these old builds. Look at that hand-painted top. I mean, it's rough, but there's something cool about it. Anyhow, so figured I'd share this with you guys. All right, so let me just give you a quick show around here real quick. It's beautiful. Beautiful time of year. All right, friends. Talk to you later.
All right, one of my favorite pastimes is carving the neck. Okay, so a few things here I wanted to point out in this guy here. And as you can see here that I have these troughs cut out strategically for these pickups. Right, so that their height is perfect. Typically what I like to do is have the top of the pickup be about the same height as the fretboard there. Okay, so I have to gouge the wood underneath it just enough, right, so that the pickup is strategically high, or in this case here, low enough. Okay, but actually what I wanted to show you was more of the carving and the curvature of the back of the neck here. Okay, and so to do that, I'm going to use my trusty drill press with the sanding disc there. So I'm going to set it up here and I'm going to show you kind of how I do this. So first off, what I like to do is hook my vacuum cleaner to the bottom of this guy, and I just use like just a regular clamp. And I've learned that a little bit of prevention, an ounce of prevention, is worth a pound of sawdust. So I turn this guy on here, and it just kind of just sucks all the time. So all the dust that's being produced from this little sanding disc is sucked into the vacuum here. So this is how I do it. Okay, so this is after I've already filed it, and kind of like, or sometimes I'll route it with the router, the round over bit on the router, just to kind of take it. But what I like to do is I like to create a taper. So what I'll do is I'll take off more down here, and then kind of like wedge it up thicker here, so it goes thinner as it goes towards the headstock here. And so, yeah, so this here will take, I will literally spend hours and hours just getting this thing just, I'll pick it up and I'll feel it. It's like, oh, the little spot there, and I'll go back, sand it some more, come back, feel it, take a look at it, and get it perfect, just dial it in. I like to take my time and really, really, really get this thing here so it just feels just absolutely comfortable in the pocket, so to speak. All right, once I get the shape, basically where I want it, then I start off with 60 grit sandpaper, right? And then I just start getting it ultra smooth. And I kind of use the light and feel it just to make sure that all the curves, there's no bumps. No ripples. And again, I just take my time, go slow, and then I work up to 120, and the same thing. And you can tell that it's getting like smoother and smoother with every. So yeah, so it makes a lot of sawdust, but hey, we call that man glitter. And then I'm gonna finally, I'll probably top out at maybe 320 grit. Oh yeah, and I can already see, well, you might not be able to see it in this light here, but it's starting to look like glass. It's starting to get like a reflective, I mean, it's polished so smooth, and it's starting to get like a gloss to it. Yeah, and you can actually feel it as you're going. You can kind of feel where the bumps are. So I can feel the bump right there. Oh yeah. Dang. Feels so good, man. Smooth like a baby's bottom. All right, greetings, fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and today I went to the mailbox, and lo and behold, someone sent me a gift. So I ripped it apart, opened it up, and sure enough, here is a hand-wound, very thin guitar pickup. All right, so that looks pretty cool. I read the note here. Let me get my readers. All right. Oh wow, I can see you. Hi Dell. I wound this flat top style humbucker today in appreciation for your videos. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 3.312 3.3K ohms. All right. This is this is what you call Bart font here. So I'm trying to read this here. It says this: mount close to the strings even if you have to use a spacer. Lead wires super glued to pickups, so careful not to pull on them. Any feedback from me would be great, as I hope to sell them. Okay, awesome, sweet. All right, Bart. Well, I will definitely try this out in an upcoming build, and I will play a video of it, and I will give you the shout out for it as well. And dude, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm sure it's gonna sound awesome. Sure looks awesome. So, dude, thank you for that gift. I really do appreciate it. All right, I also received yet another care package. This one here, a box full of goodies. And this is from David Maple, Tuckamore Custom Knives. Awesome. Well, thank you for this awesome gift of goodies here, David. Let me read to you guys the wonderful letter here. It says, Dear Del Puckett, just a small box of hopefully usable goodies. Thanks for sharing your YouTube videos on the Cigar Box guitar. They are all awesome. You've inspired me to learn how to play the Cigar Box guitar. Thanks, and blues on. In the box, a pair of black ramhorn scales. Okay, so I'm guessing these are the ramhorn scales. They look like ebony or something. I mean, seriously, they're like crazy. All right. Multiple pieces of antique fossilized ivory from Alaska. All right, so I'm guessing that these are those. Dude, I feel bad because I don't even know what ivory looks like. It's just like, looks like bone pieces to me, but what I'm gonna have to do is figure out how to cut these things into like circles or something so I can use them for inlays or something. White oak from an old 35-year-old whiskey barrel staves. Okay. And those would be these. And you can see the black on the inside. I'm smelling these things. Definitely got a whiskey. Get drunk from that. Repurposed copper, made a few picks. Ones with the holes are for keychains. All right. All right, so hammered copper picks, smooth copper picks. Aren't those cool? Here's some with the holes in them for the keychains. Awesome. And it looks like here's a 100-year-old penny from, I can't even read it. One penny though. It says 1916. Here's the back. And there's also like deer antler things in here. And big old fat pieces of bone or antler. I'm not sure what these are. but I will certainly do my due diligence, do my Google research, and figure out how to use these things. Awesome, you guys. These are awesome gifts. I really do appreciate your generosity, your kindness. Yeah, it says, P.S. I thought the cigar box was pretty cool too. Yep, that is definitely a nice cigar box. So maybe I'll have to build a cigar box guitar using this box and a lot of these little goodies for the aesthetics. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for the wonderful gifts. I really do appreciate them. All right, greetings everybody. I want to introduce you to Trigger. And yes, you guessed it right. This is modeled after Willie Nelson's old beat up Martin that has a hole worn in it. This one here is a Macanudo box that has been severely distressed, sanded and stained. I do have the hinge with the nail, a rosewood saddle, 2 matched pair snake oil mini humbuckers, and of course I sanded them to be distressed, a 3-way switch, and a potentiometer that I'll put a volume knob on it. And this is the Pentatonic Plus fretboard, which is basically the blues scale with an extra note here. And I'm tuned E, B, E. And this is a song called All My Rowdy Friends Have Settled Down. All my rowdy friends settle 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 down. This is basically the blues scale. So the normal frets would be 0, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12. And then of course repeating in the higher octave all the way up to the... So it's the blues scale. You could do like walking bass lines. I call it the Pentatonic Plus because it has the 2nd fret here, so I can go back and forth here. And I can do this turnaround chord here. The nice thing about these large gaps is you can do these slides and it sounds really cool, like... Very unique sounding instrument. Awesome for blues. And then of course you can also do these dominant 7 chords. So the blues scale in a distressed box gives you that awesome, awesome, awesome southern swampy sound. Love it, love it, love it. All right, here is the inside of Trigger. And I'm just about to button it up, but I wanted to give you guys a peek first before I button everything up. So I have 2 of these matched pair snake oil mini humbuckers that I distressed. And they are wired to this 3-way switch. Then of course the output of the 3-way switch to the potentiometer. And then the output of the potentiometer to the input jack. Now, one thing I wanted to point out here is this hinge, the center wire here. I just took a long drill and drilled a hole all the way through, kind of at an angle there, so I could route a ground wire up through here, up to the hinge, right, so that I could ground this guy. All right, all the sounds are being brought to you by the Roland Microcube, and you can see the settings there. Straight up on the gain, straight up on the tone, no effects. So all the sound is coming from the guitar. So let me give it some clean sound. And of course maybe some reverb just to... And of course you can push the strings down here in the back here and get like a reverb effect. So there you have it, folks. Trigger with the Pentatonic Plus minor pentatonic fretboard with an extra flat 5 and a 2. All right, greetings everybody. I want to introduce you to Trigger. And yes, you guessed it right. This is modeled after Willie Nelson's old beat up Martin that has a hole worn in it. This one here is a Macanudo box that has been severely distressed, sanded and stained. I do have the hinge of the nail, a rosewood saddle, 2 matched pair snake oil mini humbuckers, and of course I sanded them to be distressed, a 3-way switch, and a potentiometer that I'll put a volume knob on it. And this is the Pentatonic Plus fretboard, which is basically the blues scale with an extra note here. And I'm tuned E, B, greetings everybody, Del Puckett here. This is Trigger Part 2, and in Part 1 I forgot to switch back and forth between the two pickups to let you hear the difference. And also I wanted to show you this beer cap volume knob that I just filled with epoxy and then submerged the regular volume cap in there and let it dry, and then of course it fits on there perfectly. Alright, so let me take you through the paces here. I'll go on a clean sound on the rhythm channel. And then go to the bridge. Give it some more gain. Back to the rhythm. To the bridge. Some more gain. Back to the rhythm. And then of course the extreme gain. So there you have it, my friends. Trigger. It's like Willie Nelson's guitar, like a horse, wanting to ride away. This is the Snowbird. Notice the F holes and the humbucker. I do have a three-way that goes in between the humbucker and a piezo. I do have the dots on the top and of course the different color frets. got a bit of a growl. Here's the inside of the Snowbird. I have the humbucker to the switch and the piezo to the other side of the switch, and the output of the switch to the potentiometer, and then the potentiometer to the jack. And of course I have an extra ground wire that's going to go up to one of the screws that's going to hold in the hinge. Well, 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 congratulations. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are a serious cigar box guitar enthusiast. Congratulations. All right, well, if you're a glutton for punishment, be sure to watch part 2. Till the next time, guys, we'll see you. Cheers. God bless.